أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من حمزه ونفخه ونفخه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أعاذنا الله وإياكم من النار. Respected elders, brothers in Islam, and our mothers, sisters over there, we highly appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity given to me and you to be from among those who are still witnessing among the blessed day in this month, in the last month of this Islamic lunar calendar. Rasulullah has mentioned that part of the last days, that is the first 10 days, are most blessed days to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this last month. And we just ended the last 10 days yesterday. That does not mean we should not desist from all the good things that we carry forward. We expect to still carry them forward and continue to do more as we can, inshallah. Respected brothers, elders in Islam, today, inshallah, our topic of discussion, our sermon today is on the topic of operation, al-Zulm. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made operation haram. That is the Sharia. If you are a Muslim, you should know that oppression is haram in the deen, oppression of any type. And so far we have 3 types of oppression that have enlisted that we are going to discuss about today. First of it is one of the greatest oppression in the deen. That is the oppression to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is human injustice. You now do oppression or you need injustice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is one of the most severe oppression a human can ever carry out in the surface of the earth. Oppressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you oppress Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created me and you for any purpose other than worshiping Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He has mentioned that you will not give the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to any other being, to any other creature. You will start oppressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you have started giving the right of Allah to any other being, to any other creation. Like in terms of worship, you start worshiping something else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In terms of trust, putting your trust that someone or something that will save you in terms of calamity other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or expecting success from somewhere else instead of the success of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, disbelief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the greatest sins in Islam, and it is considered to be the form of greatest oppression in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is found in Surah Luqman, when Prophet Luqman alayhi salam was also advising his son. Allah mentioned in that chapter that Prophet Luqman was like doing nasiha, was admonishing his son, telling him, Ya bunay, wa idh qala Luqman libnihi, Ya bunay, la tushrik billah, la tushrik billah, inna shirka la zulmun azim. That Prophet Luqman was advising his son, telling him, oh my dear son, la tushrik billah. Do not ascribe any other thing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not associate partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of worship. And he said, inna shirka la zulmun azim. Indeed, associating partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a great oppression to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can see the term that even Prophet Luqman alayhi salam used in that verse, that inna shirka la zulmun azim. Indeed, ascribing partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a severe or a great oppression to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah that وَالْكَافِرُونَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Indeed, those who disbelieve in Allah, they are actually the ones who are the oppressors. Because it is only when you disbelieve in Allah, then you can oppress anything or anybody without having any conscience at all. Only if you believe in Allah, you believe in His punishment, you believe in all what Allah has ordained, then you can have that consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at any time you want to oppress anybody. That is the first form of oppression. The second kind of oppression we are going to talk about is injustice man does to his own self. A man can also oppress his own soul. How? A man oppresses his own soul by what? By injustice. When man wants his own self, human beings are the architects of their own misfortune. When people reject the truth, commit sins, they are ultimately causing harm and spiritual ruin to their own soul. Also, following his own delicious desires. When you have begun to follow your own heart's desire, what comes to your mind is what you are going to do. Irrespective of what others want to say about that thing, or irrespective of what Prophet Muhammad have said about that thing, you don't give it down, you don't give care, you don't have any concern with this. All you know is that that thing that is in mind is what you are going to do. You have only done your own shower, and you have done your own, and you have seen your own consent, and your consent is sufficient for you. So whatever comes to your mind is what you are going to do. Whether it is haram in the sight of Allah, or the Prophet has forbidden it, you don't do it down. That is an oppression against your own soul. Why? Because you are going to keep committing sin, wronging yourself, and at the end of the day you are going to get punished. Who calls that punishment? It is not Allah's matter, because Allah has set limit for you and there is a guide. But you are going to have not transgressed, you transferred, and that is now causing you what? A punishment in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, part of the oppression you will do to yourself is what? You on your own is depriving yourself of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for you. You will not sit and say, I am not going to eat. You are not fasting. Or you are fasting, but the Prophet said you should fast, do sahur and do iftar. You say, no, you are going to do 3 days fasting, you are not going to drink, and you are not going to eat. No sahur, no iftar for 3 days. This is not Islam. This is also an oppression. You are causing to your own self. Also, as the scholar said that even as a human, as a man or a woman, if you even allow your own self to fuel to yourself as a result of dirty, you will not take your bath, you will not keep yourself neat to the extent that you start smelling to your own self, that you have started oppressing yourself. Go to talk more of other creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, Allah will not wrong you except that you wrong yourself. As Allah said, Inna Allah la yazlimu nasa shay'an وَلَكِنَ النَّاسَ أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. That inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that indeed Allah will not oppress any soul, even as small as it could be. No matter how small that oppression could be, Allah will not oppress you, except that you as a human being, it is you that have not oppressed yourself. The second type of oppression the third one is the oppression you now commit to other creatures. Be it your fellow human being, be it animal or any other thing at all. We also commit oppression against people, maybe between husband and wife, between parents and children, between employer and employee, between boss and their apprentice. Any form of oppression will not be left to go in vain in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, we have stories, we have things where someone will employ someone to help him and work, I'm going to pay you this social amount of money at the end of the month. And when the month comes, the first month will go no payment. 7 more months no payment. By the time you enter, you are like, I'm not missing my pay. Say, this also day, you will not come early, you get late, you travel without telling me. But that is not what you want to have alone. Fine. If you want to take your own rights from what your employee have maybe done to you, then make sure you do that you don't with trust. Not until when someone is expecting his own wage. But still I mentioned that if a man who ever works, if you call someone and tell someone to work for you or to labor for you, do not allow the sweat that comes from his body to dry up without paying his wage. But there's a gentle agreement, gentleman agreement that at the end of the month I'm going to pay this amount of money. And maybe the person that is working for you, you have been see some lapses from him, you refuse to talk. Not until when it is wanted to take what is belong to him, to what is rightfully his own, you start bringing stories. That is also an oppression. Rasulullah mentioned that a woman tied cats, a man tied a cat in his house, and maybe as a result of forgetfulness, intentionally or unintentionally, he forgot. This cat starved up to when Allah SWT take the soul of the cat out of starvation. And Rasulullah said that person was going to enter hellfire in the day of judgment. Why? Because as we need that cat to starve to death. This is an animal, not even a human being. Talk more of oppression that we commit to our own fellow human being. It is even happening between husband and wife. A man will deliberately not provide food for the wife simply because I asked her to do this and she refused. Or I expected her to do this but she did not do. So for that, God couldn't check on after 3 days. They will not even care about even the children. The mother will settle them. 2-3 days you will not give money and have them expect them to survive. And you will be there calling the boss of the house and have it is nothing but an oppression and not something of reality go in the law of judgment. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Allah is one another himself has forbidden oppression for his own self. He, Allah is the creator of all creatures. He has every right upon you and me and every other thing that he has created. Because we are all submissive to him. We are all his subjects. So he will do whatever he wishes to me and you. But yet, he said he has made it haram for himself, made it forbidden for himself to even oppress me and you, despite all the rights that he has upon me and you. It was narrated in one of the Hadith al-Qudsi. Hadith al-Qudsi is a kind of interaction between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a direct message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whispered to the church of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not a verse of Quran. It takes place between Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Abu Dhar al-Ghifari narrated the hadith in the Hadith al-Qudsi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "O my servants, indeed I have made oppression haram for myself, and likewise I have made it haram between you and your own human. Do not oppress. Do not what? Oppress. It is a kind of commitment that we should not oppress your fellow human being. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, in his own infinite mercy, make it haram for himself not to oppress you, not to oppress me, then who are you, who am I to oppress another creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The same soul they are carrying, the same privilege of Allah they are carrying, it is the same privilege they are also carrying. They are no better than anybody inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained their own taqwa. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala satisfied their own taqwa is more than that person's taqwa. That is the only way, and you will not know who revere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than. You don't know the level of my fear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, I don't know the level of your fear. How conscious you are to Allah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only Allah knows that. And that's why Allah said the only person who is more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that person who fears Allah most. So apart from that, the fact that you are a director in social place, you are a chief imam of this social mosque, that does not give you any right to oppress anybody that is under you. You are a boss in your office, you sit on top of a promotion of a particular staff, simply because you want people to carry your bag whenever you are closing all this and that. Some kind of stories that they are not even supposed to be mentioned is what you will be hearing, simply because you have that opportunity of the online learning. It is just an opportunity. Mind you, we have people, whatever you are claiming that you are now, you have people that Allah SWT grant that thing better than what you are having now. If it is power, if it is kingship, if it is leadership, if it is iman, here is Fir'aun today. Here is Fir'aun, someone that will spend 50 years more heritage. Someone that will stay without any form of fear, to the extent that he starts believing to claim himself to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where is he today? And where is Qarun? With the amount of money that Allah has given him, the amount of wealth, where is he? And where is Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam? With the leadership that Allah has given him. All those things I mentioned, there is nothing you can ever gather that will be even up to quarter of what Allah has given them. But yet, those who are the iman, the life of Prophet Sulaiman, he is submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite his rank in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, despite the blessing, despite everything that Allah has made him above every other creation, yet he was still submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that of Qarun, with his money, he has that pride. They were oppressing him and his boss Fir'aun. And where are they today? Haman and the like of them. Allah destroyed them and destroyed what they are, the feet that they have. Rasulullah has mentioned in the hadith that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to cause oppression to be darkness in the day of judgment. That Rasulullah says fear oppression, for oppression in the day of judgment is going to be the darkness. My respected brothers, mothers, fathers in Islam, take a look at your own current situation. Lock yourself in your house. Close all the windows. There is no light. Let it be black out you. How comfortable are you? How do you feel? If it is only you. That is just a small one. The greater one you can consider is try to picture the darkness that is going to likely to live in the grave when you are buried. If you are buried and all the holes are being covered, ask yourself, how is that going to look like? Except by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah is telling you now, that oppression that you are oppressing, it is going to be darkness in the law of judgment. May Allah save us from the punishment of Yawm al-Qiyamah and make us to be from among those who are just to be our subject. Rasulullah mentioned in hadith that the dua of an oppressed, someone who is being oppressed, that his dua is directly accepted by Allah without any obstruction. But the dua of an oppressed, if you raise his hand on your hands and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never reject that dua, and it will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any barrier. وقول قول هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إن الله غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. والصلاة والسلام عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فاتقوا الله عباد الله حق تقواه، واعلموا أن الظلم من أعظم الذنوب، والظلم أنواع كثيرة أعظمها ظلم لأبي لربه بالشرك. واعلم أن الله تعالى حرمه على نفسه وجعله بين عباده محرما. ومن الظلم ظلم الناس في حقوقهم وأموالهم وإرضائهم، وظلم الزوجة والأبناء، وظلم الإمام والضعفاء، وأكل أموال الناس بالباطل والغش والخيانة والكذب والبهتان. فلنحذر من دعوة المظلوم فإنها ترفع فوق الغمام. قال الله تعالى في سورة لقمان: وإذ قال لقمان لابنه وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. وقال الله في سورة البقرة: والكافرون هم الظالمون. قال تعالى أيضا في سورة إبراهيم: ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون. وقال سبحانه: إن الله لا يحب الظالمين. قال تعالى في الحديث القدسي عن أبي ذر الغفاري رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما يرويه عن ربه تبارك وتعالى أنه قال: يا عبادي إني حرمت الظلم على نفسي وجعلته بينكم محرما فلا تظالموا. رواه مسلم. عباد الله، إن دعوة المظلوم مستجابة ولو كان فاجرا، وإن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: واتقوا دعوة المظلوم فإنها ليس بينها وبين الله حجاب. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: اتقوا الظلم فإن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. عباد الله، إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. نسأل الله العلي القدير أن ينصر المظلومين في كل مكان وأن يرفع عنهم البلاء. اللهم احفظنا من ظلمة وجعلنا من العادلين والمحسنين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. ربنا عليك توكلنا وعليك أنبنا عليك المصير. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. قوموا إلى الصلاة.